tell you one thing I would be interested in buying though is that new Apple Watch. For $399, a little bit bigger screen, smaller bezel, longer battery life. I think they look pretty slick. I like the idea of being at work and just looking and glancing at my watch and seeing a text message, not being distracted by pulling out my phone. I think that would be neat. You've got a Fitbit, right? Are you pretty satisfied with that?
I do have a Fitbit. Oh, you know what? I do have a Fitbit. I like what it does. It's very simple. I think Fitbit does an amazing job with their software as far as the health app side of things. I also really like the challenges that they have, and a lot of people I know have Fitbits. Way more people that I know have Fitbits than they have Apple Watches. But I got to tell you, Dan, I think the star of the announcement that happened last Thursday was the Apple Watch Series 4. I wouldn't say I'm an Apple hater, but I'm not an Apple lover like I used to be. I'm almost like that spurned lover that now is kind of anti-Apple. That watch is hot. I'm going to tell you, it's beautiful. I love the screen on it. I think it would be great. I also love how it's got speakers. It's now 50% louder than the Series 3. And it's like a Dick Tracy watch where you can now actually carry on a phone conversation on your watch without having to bring your big giant 10S Max phone with you when you're going to the gym or working out. However, that being said, I got a question for you.
Okay.
They say the battery life is even better. And it's now 18 hours. Is 18 hours enough, right?
I think so. I mean, as long as you're plugging it in every day, right?
Yeah, you got to plug it in every day. And here's the problem with that, though, and we could talk a lot about how to extend battery life when you've got lithium ion in your watch or your phone. It's actually not healthy to leave your watch or your phone plugged in once it's fully charged. And if you're going to do that, you're going to plug it in overnight. And, of course, it's going to stay plugged in until you wake up and take it off. So I think that's part of the reason why we replace our phones so much, at least for me, and we've talked about this in the past, it's battery life. Now, 18 hours, I'd love to see 24. I rarely stay up 18 hours, but it's not unheard of. 24 is a little bit harder to do, but if you're traveling, if you're flying across to Europe or something like that, you're going to want something that's got a little bit more staying power than 18 hours. My Fitbit lasts 4 days. Now, granted, I don't have a beautiful color display with retina display on it or anything like that, but at least I can get 4 days out of it and I don't have to worry.
And you can still get your text messages with it too, right?
I do. I get text messages. I get notifications that somebody's calling me. I can't reply on my Fitbit. I know the Aria, which is the latest version that came out, and it looks a lot like the old Pebble watches because Fitbit purchased Pebble. I think it's a great watch. I probably think it's one of the better watches you can buy right now, as long as you're okay with not having GPS in it. It's a great price, and of course, it's got the Fitbit ecosystem. But Dan, that Apple Watch Series 4 is a sexy beast.
Well, I think my favorite story from you about your Fitbit is that lady that you know that lost like 50 pounds because she was competing with you. Oh. Tell us the story about that and about how she'd wake up.
Yeah, she's a good friend of mine, and she was extremely competitive, and she lost a lot of weight. It wasn't like she was overweight to start with, but she just got trim. And we would get in these Fitbit competitions, which I know you can do with just about any kind of health device. And I would usually sync at the end of the day, and all my data would go to the Fitbit servers. And if it was 11 o'clock at night, my phone would start buzzing because my friend would get on the treadmill at 11 o'clock just to beat me.
I love it.
So that's great.
Well, one thing I like about Fitbit, though, is that you can do it with your Android friends. You can do it with your iPhone friends. I mean, with the Apple Watch, if you've got friends on it, it's just in the Apple ecosystem, right?
Absolutely. I like that about Fitbit. I hope they can be competitive with Apple. I hope Android can be competitive with Apple. We have these new Qualcomm chips that are coming out for Android Wear.
Hmm.
And if those chips don't make great improvements, I think Android Wear could be dead. I think Apple and Fitbit will grab just about everything out there they can. Android Wear is great from what I can tell and what I've seen. It's just that it's got that Android problem of having so many people making devices for it that it's hard to get the coverage, the advertising, and I think they're in trouble unless these Qualcomm chips can make something special that can at least match the iPhone Series 4 in specifications or give me a better battery. If you can give me a battery that will last 2 days and give me something equivalent to the Series 3, I'll choose that over a Series 4.